All right. So welcome to today's webinar on why you're not finding good staff. This is really a very hot topic in the childcare industries. Childcare owners and directors often come to me and say, Julie, where are they hiding? Where can we find them? Where's the secret place? Have you ever wondered that yourself? Thinking, all right, where's the next place I need to go to? Is it Indeed? Is it the colleges? What do we need to do that we're not doing? And I want to share with you some unconventional approaches to really turning this around for yourself so that you can find good staff. And by the end of today's session, I'm also going to give you a free gift that you can actually go to a certain link and download that immediately. And this is really designed to be as a preview for the upcoming leadership conference. How many of you are going? If you're going to this event, please shoot a yes, I'm going to be there in our chat box. But the From Leading to Succeeding event, and can't wait to be there with everybody. I'm actually hijacking an entire day, so you'll be with me for an entire day on that Saturday, October 28th, as we talk about childcare business success and the model that we've created so that you can fill enrollments in record time while having a motivated staff, and also with being authentically and genuinely happy yourself. I'm just going to check our chat here, see who's coming. Okay, Michelle's coming. Trying to work on the board. Okay, great. Yeah, we're super excited about it. And they asked me if I would come in for the full day. And I said, sure. And then I said, you know what? In addition to that, let's go ahead and do a webinar for folks so they could get a little preview of what I'll be teaching on Saturday. So this is just a little nugget that you're going to get today about finding good staff. There's really a whole series of things that we talk about when it comes to achieving greater levels of childcare business success. So today I have some prizes as well as a free giveaway by the end of today's session. So I just want to kick off with a little bit about myself. I'm going to switch over here to my screen share. And if anytime you have difficulties, please shoot a chat through and I'll try to check on that. And I'm going to share my screen here. There we go. And you can also change your view at any time too, so that if you don't like what you're seeing or how it looks on your screen, you could go ahead and change that. So this is just a little bit of information about myself. And let me also, I'm going to cut, I think I'm going to, let's see here. All right, so I turned my video off, but you should still be able to see my screen. And if for some reason you can't, please let me know that you're not seeing anything, and I'll make sure that we fix that. All right, Patricia and Barb, are you able to see my my slides? Yes. I know I see you guys in video. Can you give me a thumbs up? Awesome. Okay, just want to make sure you can see the slides. All right, perfect. This is still pretty new technology, and we're still working on just really making it smooth. But Zoom.us has been flawless for us pretty much. So what I have been doing is I have been partnering with childcare owners for about 20 years now, really helping them create their positive, productive, productive, and profitable childcare programs. And there's many different components to that. One big part that we deal a lot with these days is really helping owners and directors bring their big visions to life. Because so often our visions get lost in the daily stress, and that becomes the guiding force for our organization. So we really turn that around to transform childcare programs in record time. So in my 20 years of working with childcare owners and directors, I've gone on site and I've had the opportunity to interview every single level of staff and organizations to say what motivates you, what drains your motivation, and really just find out golden nuggets that I now share with you guys across the world. I've got clients, all over the world. But these things are universal, and everybody wants to know this one main question of why aren't I finding good staff? So we've been in the industry for quite some time, working side by side with owners of all different size programs. So just want to let you know that so you know where I'm coming from in case you haven't heard of me. And you can also please connect with me on LinkedIn. We've got some amazing articles there for you, no cost. You can go there and read away, connect with me, say hello. We're working on restructuring some of our websites right now, so we'll be making some announcements about those in the very near future. And we also just did our 3rd annual Childcare Business Success Conference in the Chicagoland area. And actually when Childcare Resource Center and I were speaking, Luann from your organization, we're talking, I said, why don't we invite everybody to my conference to come out to Chicago in July? And she says, you know what? Instead of doing that, why don't we have you come in and we'll do a mini conference. So ours is 3 days. We'll do a mini conference in 1 day for all of our people and bring you here so they don't all have to travel to Chicagoland. So that was the thought process behind the Saturday that we're going to have together on October 28th. All right. Let's see here. All right, my slides are not advancing. There we go. Okay. Okay. So, when we look at the staff part of the equation in your child care program, a lot of times we really view staff motivation or finding good staff as a luxury. But as many of you who are probably on this webinar know, a huge part of your ability to be successful in the childcare industry is totally dependent upon the staff you have in place. And I really estimate it to be at least 95% of your program success is dependent upon the people that you have in place. So staff motivation and attracting the right people from the start are critically important. So I want to just talk to you as we progress, really, why is it so important that we're finding good staff to bring on board our program? I mean, imagine what you're doing, trying to grow your childcare program to fill enrollments without staff. And some of you are like, yeah, we're kind of in that position now, Julie, where we don't have enough staff. And even if your staff pass the breathing test, they're a live body that you get into place, you have to ask yourself, is that really good enough for the vision that we want to bring into fruition? And most often it's not. But that's what happens a lot of times in our child care programs, is that we administer the mirror test, right? We put it underneath their nose. Is this person breathing? Yes, okay, we can hire them. We're now in ratio. We do a happy dance and we move on. So I'm going to teach you a little bit of better way to be thinking about that in your child care program, because we don't want just live bodies who are filling a spot. We want what I call incredibly dreamy staff who are primary contributors to your big, bold, dreamy vision. A lot of times we're not out actively looking for staff, or we're stuck with the way things are currently in our workplace. And I had a couple of illustrations done for you just to see if you can relate to a couple of these situations. And if you can relate to these, please send some chat throughs and say, oh yeah, those 2 women, that describes me. But it often happens in our workplace where we get stuck in a position where we have an existing staff member, and maybe there's some insubordination going on, maybe there's gossip, there's drama, there's negativity, and they cross what I call the proverbial red line. And a lot of times, so in this image, you are the person with the scarf. The leader is the person with the scarf around her neck. And a lot of times you're in that situation and you're just getting frustrated, not knowing what to do. Because how do you find good staff? And there's no good staff out there. And then you have employees who are crossing this insubordination line or this negative energy line, and you feel like your hands are totally tied because you really don't feel like you can let this person go. But yet at the same time, they are such a suck on your time and on your energy. And you're not quite sure how to deal with this. But that's why the methods that I teach to you are so crucially important, because we do not want you to be in a position where you feel like your arms are crossed, your hands are tied, you can't let go of this person because you have a fear that you're not going to be able to attract someone more dreamier into the spot. I want to show you how to get over that in today's session. Another situation that oftenly, I'll make up words as I go, often happens is what we call, staff motivation. And this is staff motivation done incorrectly. And this is where we hang that proverbial, and it used to be called a carrot on a stick. And that was a term that was used for horse racing, where they put a stick in front of the horse with a carrot dangling on the end so they would keep running. And how many of you feel like to get your staff to take the next step, you need to keep hanging chocolate in front of their face? And in this illustration, it's a chocolate-covered donut. Because oftentimes I hear on Friday mornings, we bring in those donuts saying, hey, you know what? Staff motivation is a little low. Let's put a little pep into our people and feed them a little sugar. And unfortunately, this strategy only works temporarily, or at least until they crash from that sugar that you just fed them, and then things go back to normal. So often we think, hey, you know what? I'll just motivate my existing staff. They're not that motivated, not that dreamy, but I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to give them some chocolate in hopes that they'll change their behaviors. And then oftentimes we get stuck in that position too, because their behaviors don't change from a donut hanging on a stick or a chocolate, maybe for 5 minutes, it does, but not for the long term of what we'd really like to see happen. Can you guys relate to that image? If you can, go ahead and send a chat through. And this is why it's even more critical that we find ways to attract dreamy staff. So when we look at why we're not attracting dreamy staff into our childcare programs, one of the big reasons is because we're so focused on the staff who are there doing the incorrect things. I have a saying in my campus that we work with with our childcare program of excellence mentorship members, and the saying goes that what you focus on expands. And this is why I tell our leaders when I speak, I say, never focus on your butt. That's right, I said it. Never focus on your butt, because it just expands, right? And I want you to remember this, because so often in our workplaces, we're focused on the things that aren't working. And those are the repetitive, dominant thoughts that are in our mind about what's not working, what's not going right. And then all those things that aren't going right, all those less than dreamy staff keep showing up, and that aspect of the equation keeps expanding. So now if you really take the thought process that what you focus on expands, what do you want to purposefully focus on so that you can change the results you're getting? So one of the big reasons why you're not finding your staff is because we're focusing on the energy that we don't want to have in our childcare programs. We're focusing on what's not working. And in over 20 years in close to 20 years of working with many, many childcare owners, directors, and their entire teams, I could tell you that the majority, all of them, are focusing on what's not working. And I'll go a little bit deeper with that thought, is that most of us, just our human nature, is to really think about the things that aren't working in our life as opposed to the things that are. And once we're able to change that energy, we're guided to a new action that we can take to get us some dynamic results. And I'll continue to elaborate on that as we progress. All right. Now, some of you might relate to this. Here's you again with the scarf around your neck, and you are running on a hamster wheel, sweat and tears pouring out of you with several different hats on your head. What could this possibly mean? Well, this means that you are so crazy busy. Who's got time to go and find these dreamy, amazing staff? You are so busy with the paperwork you have to do, and some of you are multitasking right now where you're listening and then doing something else because there's so much work piled up. And if you don't keep going, you'll be working all night, and then your personal lives, if they're not already suffering, will be suffering as well. And it is really hard when you're in this state of operation to find your dreamy staff. So often time is what prevents us from finding the staff that we need to really fill our program. All right. So my methodology, my thought process is that happy staff equals higher profits. So when we're able to turn this formula around and have dreamy staff in place, and you can actually, and I'm going to talk to you about this Saturday, October 28th at the From Leading to Succeeding conference, is how you really have happy staff and how that contributes to your profits. Because it's not all about just saying, okay, all of you 10 people are not dreamy, I'm firing you and I'm going to get some new people. There are people out there who are really good staff, they're just mismanaged. And when we start managing these people right and letting their light shine, we see amazing things, amazing shifts happen with how they're operating in the workplace. And that's going to be a big teaser for what we're going to cover that Saturday when we're together in Sandusky, Ohio, for those of you who are going. But happy staff, when you look at the profitability of your child care program, just as your program success is 95% dependent upon the staff you have in place, the profits that you want to experience, especially for you owners who are tuning in, the profits that you want to experience are going to be dependent upon the true happiness of your staff as well as yourself, so that this is coming from an authentic and natural place within you. All right. So I created a little handout here, and I'll make sure everybody gets a copy of this. But I wanted to give you just a few things on, traditional approaches and why it's so hard to find good staff, just summarized into a nice bullet point handout here. So this is your success guide for finding your dreamy childcare staff. So we want to really flip it from why you're not finding good staff to how to find your dreamy staff in the childcare industry. Does that sound good? If it does, go ahead and shoot me a chat through. I'm going to check chats real quick. Are you guys chatting at all? Let's see. Kalahari, yep, the training is in Kalahari. All right, cool, you guys are chatting. All right, fantastic. Let me ask you guys, can everybody hear me okay? Go ahead and shoot me a yes. And if you're seeing my slides okay. Perfect. Yep, thanks, Melissa. Are you relating to the information so far that I'm sharing with you? Okay.
We're not chatting, but she can.
So far, so good. All right, thanks, Julie. Great name, by the way. All right, good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hide my chat, but I'll check back with it in a little bit here. But I want to give you some ideas here for finding your good staff. And like I said, my approaches are a little bit unconventional is what I call them. Because there are traditional approaches where you have a staff member who leaves, a staff member who turns over, and you go to places. You go to Indeed.com, you post your job postings, we go to Craigslist, we post our job postings. And we're writing these really horrible ads that say something like competitive, we're hiring, we offer competitive benefits and wages. And we're wondering, why is nobody responding to these ads? So why is it so hard to find good staff? Well, in addition to some of the things I pointed out earlier about us really, motivating our staff with chocolate and motivating them through ways that don't work by focusing on the things that they're doing wrong. It's also because we're so crazy busy and we don't really know where to put our time. So time is a huge, huge component. Do you guys agree with that? It's like, how much time do we really have to look for people? And there's a principle that I'd like to share with you. It's called the Pareto principle. And if you haven't heard this before, it's a really fantastic one to remember. And I'll break it down for you this way, is that it really states that a certain percentage of the action that you take every single day will give you a certain percentage in results. And the Pareto principle is very old, but it really applies to like every area. There's people who are doing current research on the Pareto principle to see how does it really impact us today. And they're finding that it's true almost like with everything that happens in life. But it says that 20% of your daily activities will give you 80% of your results. Now, the sad part is when we flip that around to discover that 80% of the things that we spend our time doing every single day only give us 20% of our results. So what we really want to do is get clear on what are our objectives. What is it that I really want to accomplish very specifically in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days, in the next 90 days? And what are the very specific action steps that I need to take to achieve those goals? So what's the 80%, what's the 20% activity that will give you 80% results? What's the 20% activity that will give you 80% results? So I encourage you to take out a sheet of paper, divide it into 2 columns, put 20 and 80 on one side, and then reverse it to where you have 80 and 20 on the other side of the paper. And then list out all of the 80% things that you do every single day that only give you 20% results. And then list out the things. I'm going to give you some ideas to some things that if you reverse that, 20% activity gives you 80%, as opposed to 80% activity giving you 20% results. And if you have questions, please shoot them through chat, and I will check in soon to answer any questions. And hopefully at the end I'll save a little bit of time so that we can just recap. And if you want to join me on video, you're more than welcome to. We'll all be in little boxes like the old Brady Bunch television show where they're all looking in different squares. That's what it reminds me of. That will be us. Why is it so hard? We don't know where to look. We don't have a lot of time to look. And then we're thinking a lot about where we should be looking and we're not looking. So we get caught up in our own negative thought process. The other part about why it's so hard is that we don't have this big, bold, dreamy vision that's the guiding force. Instead, we're managing our programs by the daily stress that's unfolding. And the daily stress that's unfolding causes us to make ineffective hiring decisions. It also causes us to write ads, help-wanted ads, that are less than inspiring. And I really encourage you to look at your ads that you're writing and say, would I be inspired by this ad if I were to see it? How does this ad reflect our vision? How does this ad reflect our values? How does this ad reflect our personality? And if you really start incorporating those things in how you write your ads, people will start saying to you, like they used to say to me when I was recruiting, is your ad spoke to me. I knew I had to come here and work for you. So when we think about, how come I'm not finding good staff? A lot of times there's so much pressure to get those people on board and in place right away that we just don't see sometimes what's right in front of our face. If we're looking for the wrong thing, like what's not there, that's what we're going to see. So have you ever looked so hard for something and simply couldn't find it? And here's a woman who's looking through her bag, frantically searching for something, hoping to be able to find it. Have you ever felt like that? I know I have. Actually, this morning I was on my way to spinning class. 5:30 a.m. is when I do my spinning class. And there's a special key tag I needed. I was searching through my purse for that thing. And because I was crunched for time, it was even harder and harder to find it. Here's a woman searching behind a couch for something that she lost. And here's a woman looking for her keys. And they're right on the table. Here's a woman who's looking for her glasses. Have you ever had this one happen? And they're right on top of her head. Before I go on to the next slide, I just want to really bring you to this point right here. Where are my glasses? They're right on top of my head. See, I have this belief that everything and everyone you need to support your vision is already here. But the problem is that if we don't have that big, bold, dreamy vision as the guiding force, we're going to be just filling slots, getting live bodies in places. So sometimes we have to stop looking so hard and just focus on bringing the vision to life and then communicating the vision and finding other people who are attracted to the same vision to partner with us to bring it to life. And as you'll see, I'm using very different language in talking about your staff and who they are. Because to me, every single person who I bring onto my organization, whether they're a part-time person or a contract person, they're a partner. Anytime I have a client, and I'll tell you guys this in Sandusky, Ohio as well, when we're together at the live conference, is I will say, I am partnering with you today to make this an incredibly valuable event. So I always look at people as my partners in bringing my vision to life. Let's talk number 3 here on the outline that I'll make sure all of you get after we wrap up today's session, is how does my mindset impact my search for the amazing staff that I need to support my big, bold, dreamy vision? If your mindset comes from a place where you sit and say, there's no good staff, there's a shortage of staff, everybody out there in the childcare industry who's looking for staff is facing the same issue, guess what's going to become your reality? We have a childcare business success model that I share and that I'm going to go into a little bit further during our time together in Sandusky, Ohio. And this model basically states that the vision is the core of everything else you want to have happen in your childcare program. If you pulled this vision piece out, I want you to imagine that every single ring that I'm showing you right here is dependent upon the ring and the strength of the ring before it. So if I were to take the vision piece and just yank it out, how strong would the other pieces be? If I were to take the vision piece out and the mindset piece out, how strong would the people part be in your processes, in your program, and your profits? So it's all related. It all stems from the center, which is your vision, and it works its way outward towards your mindset, towards your people, and towards your processes. So when we have our big, bold, dreamy vision, our mindset supports the vision. Our mindset determines the possibilities. And I want to let you know that your own mindset will never, ever exceed the thoughts that you think and the thoughts that you dwell on. So if you're thinking there's no good staff, or there's always a shortage in the childcare industry, or everybody else is dealing with this issue, guess what's going to happen? Every single time you're going to prove yourself right. And your mindset is going to support that very limited vision. Your vision is something that you see with your mind's eye. It's something that you can't yet see with your physical eye, but you feel it deep in your heart that it's possible. So to make the adjustment with our vision, we have to develop the mindset, which is going to support the vision, that says it is possible. I always attract amazing people. If I have a desire or a need for a spot, it's going to be fulfilled. If I lose somebody, if somebody turns over, guess what's going to happen? Your mindset needs to dictate, I'm going to attract an even more amazing energy to be part of our childcare program. And that supports a big, bold, dreamy vision coming to life. But often in this industry, what I've found is that the vision gets squanched. Squanched, is that a word? Gets squanched, gets squashed by fear and by fear thoughts. So it gets really flattened by everything we're thinking that is a fear-based thought. And there's two things, well, there's actually one thing that will fuel your vision, and it's the same thing that fuels your fear. And that is your emotions. And your emotions come from your mindset and the thoughts that you think. So if you're thinking fear-based thoughts, you're not going to have the mindset to support the vision. And this is digging a little deep with this stuff, but it's really important to understand. And I think if you grasp this, you're going to have big old bag of gold to go back and implement things differently in your childcare program that the other childcare programs in your area are not implementing, which is going to make you different and make you stand out in a different way when people come in to tour your program. So you've got to maintain the mindset that will support the vision of what you really want to have happen. This means that you have to start having conversations among your leadership team that determine what you do want to happen. Every time you get together and talk, the excitement and the energy should be building in terms of what you're going to be attracting, who you're going to be bringing in. But instead, a lot of our time that we get together and we talk as co-directors or director and owner or director and lead teacher is, oh, did you see she called in is sick again? And we feed these negative mindset thoughts that deplete the vision. This is where the equation really needs to start transforming the thoughts that we think and the thoughts that we dwell on. Do they support the vision or do they support the fear? And if you're supporting the fear, since what you focus on expands, you're going to be expanding into that fear-based place and not the visionary place. Does this make sense to you guys? If it makes sense and it's resonating with you, please shoot a chat through. I'm going to check chat real quick. Does that make sense to you?
Where down chat? Oh, down there. There's 21 chats.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. I got a yes. All right. And if you do have questions regarding this, can you guys see the value in this? And just really having understanding, okay, yep, A. Johnson says, yep, good gossip. Yeah, and I'm actually an advocate for good gossip. We'll talk more about that in Sandusky. But yes, good gossip, spreading the good things about coworkers, absolutely critical. But it's having those thoughts that really support the vision. And like I said, if you guys can grasp this part of the equation, this is gold. The place where everybody goes wrong with this is just saying, okay, where do we need to go, Julie? Tell us, where's the secret spot? Where's everybody going? But if you're not operating from a visionary place, you might attract some people, but they're probably going to be the wrong people. And you'll find that you're just going to experience turnover. And turnover is very expensive. As a matter of fact, when we talk about profit killers, we do a program on the 5 profit killers your security cameras will never reveal to you, is one of the top profit killers is turnover. Well, actually another one's unmotivated staff, but turnover can cost you up to 30% of what you would pay that person on an annual basis is what you'll be spending on turnover when people leave. And there is good turnover, so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everybody should be kept regardless of circumstances. Not true. We should be up-leveling the people, our customers, as well as our staff members. We should be up-leveling all the time. But we can never up-level beyond our own thought processes. So if our mindset is dictating that we're in this gossipy, venty, negative place, that's all we're going to be attracting to us. And even if you write a help wanted ad that says, hey, we don't want any drama-ridden, negative, gossipy people, you're still going to attract those people. Or the good people are going to be turned off because they're going to go like, oh my goodness, they're pointing all those things out. They must be having issues over there. I'm just going to go back here to our... So I hope that answers the question. How does your mindset impact my search for the amazing staff that I need to support my big, bold, dreamy vision? What's the biggest mistake owners and directors make when searching for dreamy childcare staff? The biggest mistake that they make is number one, well, there's several mistakes, but one of the biggest is really not knowing, what do my dreamy staff look like? So I encourage you to take out a sheet of paper and write down a list of characteristics and qualities and say, what do our dreamy staff look like? And you have to start imagining these people walking through your door every day, lining up to work at your child care center. What you focus on will expand, and what you focus on can actually become a reality in your life, positive or negative. So you're either going to be bringing one of those circumstances into fruition in your life. All right, vision. So what are some unconventional approaches that get results? I have a client, her name is Mary, and Mary, we were working together. She got 36 enrollments in 3 weeks. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that with you in Sandusky. But Mary says, dreamy staff now seek me out. So she had somebody who was just across the street by coincidence, and they saw her child care center and just happened to pop in. And Mary said this is one of the most dreamy people she ever had just pop into her child care program and ask if they were hiring. And this is the power that she's now tapping into with the things that I'm teaching. So what are the unconventional approaches that get results? So there's one thing that I believe will get you transformational results with filling spots, whether it's enrollments or whether it's hiring people. And that is having conversations with people in your community. Having conversations with people in your community. I view everybody in your community as one of 3 things. So when I see people in my community, I recognize them and say, hey, you're either a potential new staff member, potential customer, or an amazing referral source. So in my mind, when I'm speaking with people, when I go on site, meeting with child care teams, I'm in their communities, I'm having conversations thinking, could you be a potential staff member? Could you be a potential customer? Or could you be an amazing referral source? So I look at people in your community as 3 different things, and I encourage you to look at them as these 3 things as well. And if you do this, you're going to have conversations with people that will lead you to find out, who are you? So you might be like, Julie, well, how do I recognize it? Well, the key here, it's conversations. Conversations lead to conversions. Conversations lead to conversions. Conversions lead to more profits, or what we say with our owners, more cash into your childcare business. But you've got to be talking to people. And it doesn't have to be incredibly difficult. It's all about really going retro with this. And when I say going old school, in terms of building relationships, talking to people. And I'll share with you a couple of examples here. So everybody in your community, there's people who you work with, there's people who you meet different places, there's people on the park bench, and you could be having conversations. If you're low in enrollments, you could go to a grocery store on Saturday morning and see how many conversations you could strike up with moms of toddlers that you see. Oh, your boy is so cute. Does he go to childcare? Oh, where does he go to childcare? Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Do you like your childcare, your preschool? What is it that you do like? And you just get into this conversation. Eventually, they'll come back and say, oh, well, what is it that you do? You're so interested in childcare. Well, hey, I happen to be a director at this amazing place down the road, and I'm always, just interested in having conversations with moms and their little ones to make sure they're finding good childcare in the community. So it doesn't have to be complex, but you start asking questions that really help parents have conversations with you, and you don't know who you're going to meet, who's going to be like, yeah, I manage childcare and I'm not too happy. And studies show that I think like 62% of people in their jobs are actively disengaged every single day. And to me, some of the best places to find people are the people who are already working. And if they're working and they're happy, why not talk to them about work? So I make it a habit, even when I go to an office supply store, and here's a picture of me talking to a cashier. Even when I go into the office supply store, I ask, hey, how do you like your job? What is it that you like about it? How long have you worked here? And I go on and on and on with my questions, and then eventually they come back and they say, oh, I love working here. What do you like about it? They give me an answer. They ask me what I do. Oh, well, I help childcare owners create more positive, productive, and profitable childcare businesses. And one day I was doing this while just out getting office supplies, and I had this one woman go to me, oh my goodness, she worked at Staples, which is an office supply store out here in Chicagoland area. And she says, I love children. I've studied childcare in school. How do I get a job like that? Is there somebody who I can talk to? So you're becoming an advocate, and this is where the vision needs to get really big, is that you're just not an advocate for filling your spots. You are an advocate for every mom finding their dreamy childcare program and every staff member, potential staff member out there finding their dreamy staff, their dreamy childcare position. And if you approach it from this angle, you'll be helping a lot of people by the jobs that you're able to offer, but even the industry by getting people really turned on and excited by about what childcare is all about. And part of it is educating them that, yeah, this is way more than babysitting. Let me tell you about what it's like to be a childcare professional. Let me tell you about what it's like to lead a childcare team. Let me tell you about what it's like to be the owner of a childcare program. And we have to come at conversations with that kind of deep enthusiasm in our heart. And I tell you what, enthusiasm sells. And if you've ever had the opportunity where you were watching a late night infomercial and you bought the product, the thing that made you buy that product was the enthusiasm that you felt the other person had for that thing. And you were like, oh, they're so excited about it. It must be good. I have to have that too. And a lot of times after work, we're just trying to get through the grocery store, get through the bank, get in and out of places, just leave us alone. We're so stressed. Those are prime opportunities to be having conversations with people in the community. To put your best face on, your best clothes on, get out there and have conversations, interact with your tellers. And I swear I never ever have a shortage of people to work for me in one capacity or another. I have people who say, you know what, if you're looking, Julie, let me know. I'd like to work for you. How do I get in? How do we start this? So I always have people who are approaching me about working for me. And it's amazing to really be able to experience people seeking you out for positions. But it's because I'm doing one thing and I'm doing it pretty effectively, and that's having conversations that convert. I'm having conversations, I'm building relationships with people. And there's so many different ways that you can do this. And like I said, we're going to go into this a little bit more in Sandusky, Ohio on Saturday, October 28th, when I'm hijacking the entire day to be with you. And you're going to leave with so many notes and strategies to carry you forward that you're going to have no problems finding your dreamy staff as well as your dreamy clients. So I'm super excited about that. All right, let's continue on with the outline. How can there never be a shortage of staff to work for me in my childcare program? Wouldn't that be nice? Never be a shortage of staff to work for me in my childcare program. One thing is that you have to never, ever, ever stop hiring. Typically, we get people in, we do a happy dance, and I was like, woohoo, on to the next stressful thing. But we have to really be in the mindset where, you know what, I'm not going to stop hiring because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And if you stay in that energy of abundance with your staff, you're going to get more and more and more people to put on your waiting list of people wanting to work for you. And the same philosophies I'm teaching you here apply to your enrollments as well. So never ever stop hiring, never ever stop enrolling. Always be increasing your waiting list and up-leveling the people that you're attracting. And when you stay in that energetic state of pure enthusiasm that radiates far, fast, and furious, you cannot help but attract people into your energy circle. It's kind of like when you're in a good relationship or a fantastic relationship, or maybe you just fell in love. And you're in that state of love, and you notice that other people for some reason are like really crazy attracted to you right now. Maybe if you're a woman, you get hit on by more men than ever, whatever it might be, but it's because you're in that energetic state where you are just radiating and you're not in a state of desperation. So a lot of times we're hiring and we're coming from a place of desperation. We're writing our ads from a place of desperation. We're interviewing from a place of desperation. And we're even making that hiring decision from a place of desperation. And it's really time to turn that all around in the childcare industry. So your true enthusiasm for your big, bold, dreamy vision is the guiding force. And you're putting it out there and attracting people with your pure enthusiasm. for the vision and for the work that you do in the childcare industry. So what are my top 3 steps that you can take to find dreamy staff in my child care program? Let's recap what some of those are. And if there are questions brewing for you, please feel free to jot those down. And then I will see if there's time to answer them when we wrap up. And if not, I'll come back and do a little Q&A with you, either via an email that I'll shoot over to you. But what I also want you to think about is, what are the top 3 steps that we've been through? And if you know them, I would like you to write them down and share them in our chat. And there's probably more than 3, but I'm going to give you 3. And I'd like to give away some prizes too. So I do have a gift that I'm going to give to everybody at the end of the session, just for being here, just for registering for this webinar. But I would also like to give you some audio programs that I have. And I encourage you to write down your 3 steps. And just for participating, I'm going to make sure that you get a little special package from me in the mail, hopefully prior to our October 28th date in Sandusky. So you'll actually get something from me in the mail. So it's just some audio programs that we've done in the past to help you manage, motivate, retain great staff. And they're older audio programs, but the content is still very, very impactful. So I encourage you, if you've got 3 things, I'm going to go here and see what you guys have to say. I'm going to look at the chats. All right, anybody have any other steps? So I'm currently looking at my chat box. I don't know if you can see that I'm doing that. But what are my top 3 steps that you can take to find dreamy staff in your childcare program? And you might think of these in terms of ahas, of what you gained from our time together so far today. Yep, focusing on the positive. That's a good one. Focusing on the positive. Yep, so remember to focus on the things that your good staff are doing. But what else? What are some critical strategies? Because what you focus on expands. I'm going to recap these for you guys, but I wanted to see what you have to say. Don't be in a rush, right? Don't hire out of desperation, absolutely. And when it comes to desperation, do not write your ads, do not get on the phones, do not conduct your interviews from a place of desperation. Desperation is an emotion that feeds the fear and does not feed the vision. All right, thanks, Melissa. Anyone else? Anything else to say? Market your program all the time. And that's perfect, fantastic. All right, so let me recap a couple things for you here, and I want to make sure that you write these things down. So what are our top 3 steps you can take to find dreamy staff in your childcare program? Have conversations. Have conversations. And talk to the people in your community. Do you guys like the strategy, and are you going to implement this? Let me see you on the chat saying, oh yeah, or I do not see the value. Yeah, oh yeah, thanks, Melissa. All right, so one of the top 3s is to be having those conversations with people, talking to your people in the community, knowing that they are either a potential new staff member, a fantastic referral source, or a potential dreamy client. You never want to miss an opportunity with anybody in your community. The next step, so step number 2 that I want you to take away from today is that you have to clearly define who this person is. So list out all the characteristics, behaviors, qualities that this dreamy staff member is going to possess. Because you may have a team right now that is very needy, very destructive, maybe not. Maybe it's you only need a slight tweaking. We've dealt with teams of all different calibers where some need a total overhaul or a total transformation, as we call it, and others just need to keep on the same path that they're on. But if you can't see these people with your mind's eye because of what's currently in place, you're not going to bring them into fruition with your real eye. So I tell people who are really needing to hire people, make a cutout cartoon picture, kind of like we have Mary up there in the corner of my slide, and put all the different characteristics around the person of what you want to attract. Enthusiastic, positive, greets everybody in the morning with a happy hello, leaves home problems at home, resolve conflicts and issues positively and directly. all of those different things. You want to take that and be able to have it be your visionary staff member, the person who you want to attract. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is to really get in touch and let your vision be the guiding force, and not manage your program by fear, but manage your program by staying in touch with the vision. And when we look at the people support your mindset, and your mindset supports your big, bold, dreamy vision. So we've really got to manage by having this big vision in place. And you've probably heard the biblical quote, whether you're religious or not, doesn't matter, but it's very true. And it says, in absence of a vision, your people will perish. So where there's no vision, your people will perish. And I tell you what, it's true in childcare program after childcare program that I work in. When the vision has collapsed, everybody is just kind of wandering around looking like, what do we need to make it through today? What's the stress? What's Mary wearing? What's going on The Bachelor? So we're really deviated in terms of what's the vision and how do we bring that into existence. So when you manage by those 3 things, you're going to start getting transformational results. Now, the important point that I want to leave you with your vision, is that your vision is going to dictate what kind of help wanted ad are you writing. If you're writing an ad that says we offer competitive benefits and wages, and we're a great preschool to work at, and we provide an intellectually stimulating environment for infants through this, blah, 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 blah. You are no different than the childcare program down the road. So you've got to be able to identify what is it that we bring to the table that is different. And that big defining characteristic is, number 1, the owner. Is that the person, who is the owner? What kind of personality, what kind of culture does she set? It's critically important. And then how do you carry that forward as a leadership team? So the biggest thing that makes it so different is you. So ready to get dreamy. Here's my vision for the staff I want to attract to my childcare program. So in this guide that you're going to be receiving, there's just a spot here. And if you've got a sheet of paper, I encourage you to do this. But what is your vision for the staff that you want to attract to your program? Get really clear on what that is and start focusing on it, and you're going to start attracting more of that to yourself. And you might be saying, okay, Julie, that's kind of, a little bit out there in terms of, we're going to attract people to us, and you do. And you start noticing more. And here's the thing, even if you don't necessarily attract, you start becoming aware, very keenly aware of how many of these people are out there. How many of these people are dying to get into your doors to enroll or to work for you. And I had an incident in 2012 where I was shopping for a new car, and the salesman convinced me Chevy Malibu 2013 pre-release, was the way to go. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't really seen many of these cars out there. I never even thought about getting a Chevy Malibu. And then I get into the Chevy Malibu, I test drive it. He's like, here, just take it home and keep it for a couple of days. I kept it for a couple of days, went back, and of course the car was already mine. And I signed on the dotted line thinking, cool, this is a neat car. Nobody else has one of these. Pretty fantastic. Well, I signed on the dotted line. I get out there onto the road, and what do you think happens? I start seeing Chevy Malibus everywhere, because my focus changed to what I was looking at, what I was thinking about, and now I started seeing it everywhere. And it gets so bad sometimes that when I'm at the airport traveling between speaking engagements, I park in between 2 Chevy Malibus. And the same thing happens to you, whether it's with a car or whether it's staff. If you start focusing on who's already here serving our vision, and you really focus on those people who are doing the right thing, you're going to start seeing more of the people in your community as you have conversations who could also be dreamy staff members. You'll also learn how to leverage relationships with people in your community. And we're not going to go into that today. We'll go into that on the 28th in Sandusky for the From Leading to Succeeding conference that I'll be speaking at on Saturday. We'll be going into that component of it. But how do you leverage relationships so that instead of it being one-on-one, you now have the opportunity to access an entire slew of people who know, like, and trust this one person who you're going to be building a relationship with. So that's really important. All right, so here's a free gift that I have for you. We've got a little ebook that we did. It's called 3 Steps to Finding Your Dreamy Childcare Staff. And this is available for you at the following link. And it's a very long, so I'll make sure that, again, you're going to be getting this reference guide. And we'll be sending you the link as well. But it's juliebarkus.leadpages.co/find childcare staff Julie Bartkus. It's long. I apologize. I don't think I could copy it from my slide, can I? No, probably not. But I will make sure that you do get that. So this is the free gift that I have for everybody. In addition, if you participated in any of the responses on this chat, I encourage you to send an email to my assistant. Her name is Robin, R-O-B-I-N, at childcarebusinesssuccess.com, and let her know you were on the call, you participated in the chat. We will confirm that, and then we're going to make sure that you get sent a little package from us. So make sure we get your address as well, and that will contain a couple audio programs for you. All right, I'm going to look at chat real quick here while we're still here, and let me see. All right, Melissa, which information would you like me to repeat? Oh, Robin's information, thanks. So Robin's email is robin@childcarebusinesssuccess.com. And Melissa, you have her spelling right, so it's R-O-B-I-N at childcarebusinesssuccess.com. And let her know you participated on the chat. Yes, and the date is, it is a Friday. Sorry, I say Saturday because we work so many Saturdays with teams. But yes, it is Friday the 28th in Sandusky, Ohio. So Friday the 28th is when I will be there. The conference is Friday and Saturday. All right. Are there any questions? I'll take just a minute to see if anybody's got any questions or anything wrap up. And then I'll say goodbye on video to you in a moment. All right. I don't see any questions coming through. You're very welcome. I look forward to seeing you too, Michelle, on the 28th. And again, that's Friday the 28th in Sandusky, Ohio. And if you are an owner listening to this and you're going to be in Sandusky, Ohio on that Friday, we're going to be doing a special get-together with just me and the owners in the evening. So if you are an owner and you're going to be there, I encourage you to also email Robin and let her know that you are an owner, you're going to be there, and you'd like to be involved with my private get-together for owners. That is a bonus that I'm going to offer to those of you listening today who are going to register and come out and be with me, so that Friday, after we're done with the full day presentation, the owners and I will get together, we're going to have a private dinner, and there's no additional cost for that. So please email Robin, let her know you'd like to be included in on that and that you are an owner. And again, her email is robin@childcarebusinesssuccess.com. All right. Do we have a good session? Was that some good information? If you guys can give me an oh yeah. Woohoo. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate your participation. Yes, fantastic. Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen share and come back to video. There's Patricia. And I'm going to close my chat here, and I'm going to see if I could come back. Oh, there's my video. Just so I could come back and say hello and to let you know that I've really enjoyed being here with all of you today. And I can't wait to see you in Sandusky. And if you want to say anything, you have an invitation to unmute your microphone or unmute your video camera if you've muted yourself, and you can say anything you'd like, whether it's just goodbye or see you Friday, the 28th in Sandusky. If you want to unmute, you can. Otherwise, I'll close this out in just a moment. Barb, or Patricia and Barb, you guys have anything to say? Thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody, I will let you go, and thank you for being here with me today. I'm Julie Bartkus. Please come see me at LinkedIn. We have so many amazing articles for you. You can also find me facebook.com/childcare business success. I'm active both those places every single week, and we're restructuring our websites right now, so I won't give you all of those messy places, but come see me on LinkedIn or on Facebook, and I can't wait to see you in Sandusky. Remember, owners, we're doing a special session for you, and everybody else, hang on tight. It's going to be quite a ride on Friday, October 28th. Bye, everyone. Good to see you.